Man has opinion about video game. Internet goes absolutely nuclear crazy about opinion on video game. Is this actually about opinion on video game? No, this has nothing to do with opinion on video game. This has everything to do with going after the far left sacred cow of gender ideology.
You gotta love how he sort of twisted the narrative with this. You had a really out there take on the they, them pronouns in Starfield. You had one other example that really doesn't hold up very well in the full context. And now you're sort of coping about it and trying to twist it around. But too bad. It sort of comes off rather badly, in my opinion, but you do have the support of a lot of people for some strange reason. Wonder if he had some talk to a friend about this.
We had the early access release for Starfield. Some people are loving it. Some people, not so much. The gameplay is solid enough when you're actually doing something, but that's half the problem. I found the explorative nature of this game exceedingly dull and boring. I found the characters not remotely engaging, and the dialogue has a lot to be desired.
And he has one little line. The dialogue seemed perfectly functional to me, especially. And who even knows where this takes place at? Maybe managed to talk down. This is early game, and you got pretty much an NPC, not a major character he's displaying here. Seems rather odd to use just some random pirate instead of a named character for your sort of example. I'm not even 25 hours, I'm only 10 hours in, so we'll see what I think of it when it comes down to it. But what I think about it doesn't matter now. It's what about as thinking about it in this case.
As long as the credits keep rolling in, life's good.
But having an opinion on the internet, well, heaven forbid anyone have one of those. But this video isn't about that. I'm not going to treat you like you don't know what is actually going on. Towards the beginning of the game, the character creation, we were greeted with a pronoun option. So very current day of Bethesda, because...
Yes, and when has Bethesda really done the current day thing? You haven't established any sort of pattern. You're just like, Bethesda, obviously going current day. Whoa, so wacky. And then sort of moving the goalpost.
It appears at some point during the last couple of years, Pete Hines seems to have forgotten what gender he is. Never mind. So I went on a little bit of a rant to my streaming audience because I was unhappy with the fact that in every aspect of our entertainment today, we seem to be pulled out because the people creating it are more concerned with inserting current day into absolutely everything. Bethesda, there is nothing I love more.
Yes, this is going to be sped up. Everyone knows the rant. Might even speed it up more, but I definitely would want more examples. He gives some later, but who even knows how that mess is gonna turn on out.
Then to sit down, comfy chair, turn on the PC, fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself, think, oh my god, just think of this world, just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive...
A few minutes later.
Sorry, do you want to immerse in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! That's all we fucking know! It's been boring! We're so fucking boring! When I kill your brother, I talk!
That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Western Game Company. Fuck your immersion. Fuck you having a good time. Fuck you falling into a world and just getting lost. No, no, no. Current fucking day. You're boring. You're fucking dull. You have nothing to say. You are a one hive mind twat waffle.
And you have nothing to say, Mr. Az, okay? You're just going on some freaking rant about how current day and Bethesda is such a Western company. Fucking idiot. Bethesda started here on the East Coast, not this freaking West Coast. Now you can make an argument being bought by Microsoft, getting bigger and bigger. They're going to the tech giant sensibilities, but they ain't there yet. Stop being such a post hoc gold post moving little bitch. As soon as your freaking little take rant took off, you used it to push a certain political narrative. And that sort of bullshit pisses me off.
That's all you fucking are! And you wonder why people are getting so fucking sick and tired! You take everything we love, all our emotions, all our fantasies, all our escapism, and you just can't help shovel your dog shit, fucking crap ideology into everything!
Yeah, I think You're the one with a fucking dog shit ideology if you're gonna push this on Bethesda as a game. There is plenty of criticism you can get Bethesda, but they have never done this freaking woke shit, and you're just pushing this narrative on everything. I've explained this on the Andrew Clark stream. I don't think what he's doing is smart. It's sort of like crying wolf at everything is woke. Synthetic Man has that sort of same energy there with the boy who cried wolf, or in this case, the boy who cried wolf. When you're seeing woke, woke, woke in everything, it sort of creates a culture of, I would say, paranoia, where you're really just stretching to call things woke. You get into that sort of anti-paranoid woke mindset. As I said, micro-wokeism. This is not fucking good tactics. This is not good optics. This is not good, sensible criticism. This is just you using this one, two, maybe there's more, but you only give 2 examples and they are complete dog shit for this little rant. Is all the woke media not enough? You have to find the littlest hint of it in a AAA title to sort of go off on this freaking little dumbass tirade. See, I can rant too.
Every single solitary fucking thing! I'm gonna go industrialist. I'm going industrialist. There we go. I did it. What name? He, what? What? He, him, he.
Just for clarification, this fucking dipshit didn't even go into traits before he even went to this screen. He's just like, traits? What are traits? I don't know. And this is just the start of him doing this sort of Wings of Redemption bullshit where he just pauses and get angry. I mean, what's up with these fat video game commentators that they can't handle any amount?
If you want to play,
he thinks he can tell Bethesda. I would like to tell Bethesda something, but it has nothing to do with this freaking pronoun bullshit. Yes, it's bullshit.
Your pronouns, then you should have an option to not enter pronoun. Now, I edited that down a little bit because of brevity. There were some pauses that I took out, but this was tweeted out by Hassan.
And I am going to be able to criticize Hassan, the person who said KYS to Critical Drinker for his Barbie take. I did not like Critical Drinker's Barbie take, but I did not actually fucking go off on a tangent. So you have a prettier but more deranged person trying to get it owned on. Definitely not a prettier, probably not even as deranged. He's getting there with this take. Who knows how he's going to push this? Synthetic Man levels? Who knows?
Piker after Dan Vask.
Good old patriotism. You know, when you don't have an argument, go for that patriotic. Isn't as not even American?
Had put the video out and it went a tinge viral. And he says, this weird British guy, oh, yeah, okay, fair enough, losing his mind over selecting pronouns in Starfield is the perfect demonstration for why we must bring back lobotomies. Well, Hassan, at least they would be able to lobotomize me. You, however, I don't think they would actually find enough brain cells. And if you don't know who...
Has a point here. Son, pretty boy, brain dead, loser, hell. Liar trying to say he built his success all by himself. Yeah, sure thing, pretty boy. You did it. Yeah, and you have such a degree of narcissism and maybe not narcissism, more insecurity. You think you have to play people's videos because otherwise you can't stream for 8 hours all alone. You know, when your mom's not there to make you your chicken nuggies. We get to, well, not me, people who watch you get to watch Chair Hassan.
Who this guy is, let me introduce you to him.
So you said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
Yeah.
And that other person that he was being interviewed by was his uncle, Cenk Uygur. Let's see what Cenk Uygur has to say about certain things, shall we?
If I were the benevolent dictator of the world, I would legalize bestiality where you are pleasuring the animal. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now why? Why did that happen?
I don't know, Cenk.
Yeah, it was laughter. There's a lot of jokes in this, as makes he takes even hell. I don't even like Cenk, but obviously he was trying to make a point. Out of context, I have no fucking clue. Good thing, as you're truly living up to that ass name.
Maybe it had something to do with the, oh, I don't know, fucking animals part. What the hell is wrong with your family, dude? So needless to say that I'm pretty okay with having a conflicting opinion to somebody like Hassan. But this is...
Yeah, going after, making jokes about someone's family when they just talk about doing something extremely stupid to you. One flew over the cuckoo's nest for both of you boys, okay? Gotta one-up people on the internet, I guess. But you know what? All good humor here, at least I hope, because there's some rather brain dead takes here from this man at certain points, or should I just say uneducated.
Isn't just about pronouns. That's the disingenuous argument that people want to latch onto, so that you don't talk about the gender ideology and the intersectionality that's been rammed into every single solitary facet of our entertainment, from video games to TV, film, comics, etc., etc.
It's making its way out. Why do all these freaking ideologues, both the left and right? Racism. Oh, it's getting so much worse nowadays. No, it's fucking not. It wasn't until the race baiters came along. And now we have the counter anti-wokers sort of pushing back when people are becoming almost sensible, it seems like. Of course, the pendulum would have to swing way to the side. Can't just find a comfortable middle. You motherfuckers gotta rage bait with this sort of shit, then make Bethesda game and this pathetic little example here so you can push your little agenda.
Listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier.
Yes?
So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there.
You're a dude.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance.
Uh-huh.
The UC is actually the only reason I'm here in the first place.
Yeah?
I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of...
Okay. I gotta like the berserker take here. Sorry, berserk music here. It's very appropriate since she's a little reminiscent, not as pretty, not as exotic, but Bethesda models are a little bit better now. I'm not going to say great things about Bethesda models throughout the age. That would make me a liar. But they're generally serviceable and customizable, in at least this game.
During the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations.
See, this isn't even that far out here. This is standard sci-fi plot, okay? Bethesda isn't going to win any awards for great writing here or great original writing. Very bog standard. You have a great leader. They want to replicate him, so they pop out some sort of factory line for trying to create the same sort of effect. Az doesn't even really investigate this anyway. Yeah, you ain't into this immersion because somehow you just... I cut this up because Az just takes his little ass time just going through. Yeah, synthetic vibes, synthetic man vibes here.
What did you say? Oh, look, you're a clone of a man. How does that work?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few
Gary.
levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
So you're not a clone. This is actually gene splicing that you're talking about. Oh, fuck off. Seriously, just...
Okay, this is hurting my head. The absolute... Well, of course, he's an absolute idiot, so he probably doesn't know the process of cloning. If I was to take a guess based on things, they probably fertilize some sort of a embryo to sort of with the genetic to hopefully get almost as pure as they could. But from what she's saying, there might have been other materials involved and imperfect clones, more like children of the corn.
It's infected everywhere.
Nerves kicking in?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
The program I was a part of, it was The UC's attempt to create a new generation.
Some
of
days I
military
really miss
minds
alcohol. I
for one of
really
their most
really do miss
respected
alcohol and abusing
secure the
drugs. Some
leadership
days
of the UC
I'm not.
That explains a lot about how brain damage he comes off in this little stream and his videos. You know, alcohol abuse and drug abuse can sort of affect you down the line, Mr. Asman. Heels versus Babyface. Sort of very telling there. You know, at least I can excuse your craziness. In that regards, I at least have some sense of logic to it.
I'll say today's one of them, but today's one of them.
I don't want to blow your ego up. I think you're fucking mental. I'm more interested in what this has to do with us addressing the cabinet. I don't give a fuck
The man I was
about your pronouns
father.
or who you identify.
She did not bring up her pronouns, and you're looking into this way too deeply, tying it back together. Is that your session? You're like, how can I turn this to make another rant like I did earlier? I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I'm a stretch clone from a man. Oh, transgenderism. Oh, God. There's some people with some dumbass trans takes, but this is like a patchwork of idiocy, but that could only come from let me not go that far. Okay.
Identify as.
Committed
Just give me my space
The man
money
caused a
and
lot
my
of death
space
on both
experience.
sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day.
Uh-huh.
So my involvement,
Yeah.
it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there.
Whatever you say, dude.
I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Yeah, definitely a fucking entitled gamer. I should have paused sooner when he's like, let me have my little freaking space adventure. I don't want to have to deal with all this dialogue. It reminds me of woke. It's not quite woke, but let me work it up into woke. Maybe I lied about saying he didn't cry. And this is some serious wine in here. Want any wine with that cheese ass?
Whatever you say, buddy. Pal, chum, mate. Yeah. Fuck your family.
Not an unfair assessment.
No, it's not,
But
dude.
what we're doing now, so your help means a lot more than I figured you might realize.
Well, and my help might dry up real fucking quick.
When David Tennant was 3 years old.
Okay, this might be a little far stretch because I'm going back. I remember he was a Doctor Who fan. And I remembered something very interesting that should be really relevant. Let's watch. See what he reveres.
He told his parents that he wants to become an actor because of watching Doctor
He
Who.
was a good
He
doctor.
later went on to play the 10th Doctor.
What's going on?
Oh,
This isn't about to check my blood pressure.
What are you doing to it?
Oh, it's taking a tissue sample. Ow. I'm extrapolating here.
Are you alright?
what's happening here? They took a tissue sample from the doctor, and what pops out? A woman. But maybe she gets a pass because she's a hot white woman. Let me not push that on Az, okay? I'm not gonna make sort of assumptions about that thing. I'm sure other people would, but let me not.
Arm yourself.
Where did she come from?
From me.
From you? How? Who is she?
Well, she's my daughter.
Hello, Dad.
Now, did I have that reaction because I'm a nasty, naughty transformophobia?
Same sort of circumstance, but a lot stupider. And yet, maybe it's changed. They seem very similar circumstances to me. The doctor's daughter is sort of a much stupider version of whatever that chick's name was, who talked about being a clone. Happened just to David Tennant's, but you know what? Doctor Who, very silly and funny. But as like said, this is a little bit more serious version of that. As thinks is woke. Yeah, that's why he cut all the context. Or to sort of hide his little whining and pissant. I just want to play a space game without actually thinking about the real world. Admirable as, but still not going to be something that's going to help you too much in the long run.
No, I had that reaction because it was so obvious because we're dealing with current day gaming company. In actual fact, you could go far as to say we're dealing with current day entertainment in the West. Then we have The Act Man, a React channel that has 1.8 million subscribers.
See, here, I don't know if Az is dumb or just plain stupid here, because the Act Man is not primarily a reactor. Maybe he was thrown off by the dark side of reacting that he did. Definitely lazy from the Ackman, but it gets the word out. Did it after a lot of people went into it. Nothing too critical about that, but calling him a reactor, either dumb or plain stupid.
Getting mad because a person reacted to a game. By the way, this person recently being cancelled, having his YouTube channel demonetized / pulled down because he was attacked for having an opinion about something and exercising his right to do so. Now,
see, again, dumb or ignorant here because the Ackman did not do it. He originally got mad that he got the sort of sexual thing for putting a cucumber in Quantum TV's mouth in his video. And then he sort of was a dumbass on Twitter and said some stupid things that sort of got his channel fucked to hell. So it has nothing to do with just an opinion. Had to do with actual people coming after him. And the original title, man, canceled. You could say Ackman was closer to canceled than your ass. So you sort of taking the stance is rather freaking stupid in reality. But you know what? I don't expect much from Az. This is definitely something that needs to be addressed by at least someone. And hell, might as well add my voice to the masses because hell, a lot of the people criticizing Az, which he sort of uses as a defense in this video from what I've seen, might actually trick some people. Just because a lot of people have bad criticisms against you, Az, doesn't mean there aren't very good ones.
now he's actually jumping on that bandwagon to attack somebody who is exercising their right to have an opinion. I guess turnaround is fair play, hey? Don't worry about the hypocrisy of it, dude. You do you. So it's...
No, God! Ackman's like many people in the video game space, including a group that you're familiar with. Ever hear of EFAP? He's been on EFAP. You've been on EFAP. Are you really that stupid to not know other guests? Or are you just that unaware of the greater YouTube space and the fact that gamers, there's a large amount of gamers who are tired of people like Synthetic Man calling every little thing woke. Hell, there was even this one channel that clickbaits the term woke way too much for my liking. Overall good. Clickbait titles sort of turn me off sometimes in some of his direction, Animon or something. And he did a video on this, and even he brought up the bathroom, a gender bathroom. Now, I'm not going to say it's not a big deal. A gender bathroom is definitely acceptable on a starship. It's also acceptable when you have a family and need to take children, males and females, in there, even setting aside the whole identity politics out there.
Tweet starts off with gorilla-shaped man, which, by the way, I can't take any other way than a compliment in Silverback, baby. On the verge of crying. We've already had to go into a lie because you want to embellish your inverted commas argument. Shouty man, yes. Ranty man, yes. Angry man, yes. Crying, no.
But yes, whining like a little entitled bitch at some parts in that stream. Okay, maybe the context isn't there. You can't call him a liar. It also could just be a joke. You mad, bro? You mad enough to cry. You definitely whining enough to say, verge of tears with your little man baby act that you absolutely embrace. But take the hit, dude. It's not that big. Ackman, quite an interesting fellow.
Say it how it is. If you feel comfortable with his position, why lie? Because Starfield lets you pick pronouns at the start of...
See, notice, it's a lie, not a joke, not maybe abstracting from some other place or his personal opinion. So I don't get where he's going with this. This is obviously a hyperbolic tweet. Oh, you've never made those, Az? You've never tried to bait people? Whoa, what a shock. I almost don't believe it.
The game, and then is never brought up again. Well, if it's never brought up again, why do you even have to pick the pronoun? And you would have a better point of argument here if the game allowed you to skip the pronoun nonsense. What are your pronouns? Skip. Because the game understands.
Why would you have the extra layer just to protect your sensitive ass? This is seriously the anti-SJWs. At least some of them are becoming just like the SJWs. This is why I use the term micro-wokeism. Just triggers Az here, and he spazzes out about all this crap here.
Sounds that when you pick the male character, you have male pronouns. And when you pick the female character, you have female pronouns. So if it's never brought up again, What is the issue? What is the problem? Why is it even there? It's there to compel you to do so. It's there to compel you to participate in the gender ideology that
Yeah, this is such a bullshit argument. He's trying to abstract to the compelled speech that Jordan Peterson rose from his fame. And there's absolutely nothing in the game that compels you to pick the they, them pronouns opposed to the he, she. Yeah, he, she, him, her. And I'm playing the game there. I haven't tried out the actual they, them because I'm normal. Maybe I'll play through to see if you get the they, them pronouns from the people or if it was just an add-on to alleviate these people. And as I made in my Andrew Clark speech, there is a utility to freaking they, them pronouns. Not going to bring it up here until then because this is about this dipshit trying to this is a serious cope and deflection to, this is just a representative of the whole game industry. Bethesda, why have you betrayed me? Such bitter tears. And that's probably why the crying, the sort of salt back. You obviously are in your own little bubble on Friday Night Tights on your channel and not understanding the actual gaming market. Get out of your fucking bubble. Stop being such a bitch and stop trying to poorly allude to the compelled speech here because that is a bitch move. And I think some people are gonna freaking make that freaking connection when there has nothing to do with that here. You need actual power to compel speech. It's not the gaming industry forcing you to use these pronouns. It is just generally Twitter weirdos and other Redditor level bullshit on the internet who tries to shame you for these pronouns. You freaked out over this micro wokeism and you're trying to pretty much move the goalpost to be like, it's not even about Starfield, guys, about the greater industry. No, it's not. You're trying to cope and probably trying to milk this, which I completely understand, but still a little disingenuous.
they've shoved into the game. But again, you're being disingenuous because you're not even addressing the rest of the argument, which is the fact that this is shoved into all types and kinds of our entertainment here.
No. He's addressing the actual freaking argument that you made, and you're shifting what you want the argument to be. You're getting everyone on board to sort of run defense in the anti-SJWs when it doesn't freaking make any sense. And I'm sure you're making good use of the anti-Bethesda crowd, anti-Xbox crowd, and even your little political side, sort of rightoids who fucking doesn't know anything. Not all the Friday Night Tights crew are completely dumb as he might actually be the dumbest one. So he has to have these hot takes occasionally. He got this one to pop off. Way to go.
Here in the West, and this is simply a straw that broke the camel's back moment. So the person that says it doesn't matter then created another post because I guess it actually does matter. This time with a little 15-second video. Oh no, Virgin Starfield.
He's treating you like the freaking lolcow you're coming off as. I'm getting serious DSP vibes. Or, sorry. No, that might actually be bad. Yeah, sorry. Retract. Wings of Redemption vibes. Not quite that level, destroying stuff. Yeah, you have your moments, though. Watch the streams during those parts. Yeah, you're like, maybe better at control, but he has that impulse to just like destroy and whine and cry, but not actually have the tears because he's too manly for that.
Hater with me. Oh no, I guess I'm a virgin again. Hey, good for me. This is what it is. I don't care about it. Love the game, criticize the game. It's all good to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I criticize the game for being woke. Now let me deflect to freaking the gaming industry being so woke. Such a bitch ass move. This really is a serious deflection. He's even saying it doesn't matter about the game because you don't have what it takes to be a serious critic and you shouldn't try.
So the guy that said it doesn't matter then's created another post because I guess it really, really matters. But this time, folks, he got me. I got gotcha'd by him. So I wanted to see what the guy who screamed about pronouns in Starfield.
And again, where did the Ackman say it doesn't matter? Please tell me. Where does the Ackman say it doesn't matter? Okay. He's not saying it doesn't matter. And you're harping on that it doesn't matter. Where did he say it? If he had a post saying it doesn't matter, maybe he has a different perspective on it. Personally, I think you're freaking a little bit delusional, or maybe you're trying to grip off this. Okay, just maybe. Or maybe you're just delusional or super sensitive like the SJWs that used to come before you. I feel bad for some of the anti-SJWs because frankly, that old adage is you fight against something long enough, you become that monster. I fucked up that statement, but it tends to hold true, I think. And those people who go kicking and screaming with the going against the wokies or SJWs. See, my mouth doesn't want to produce the SJWs because it's become almost cringe in its own. But this is just truly, you become exactly the micro wokeism, if even that is triggering as.
Got gotcha'd by him. So I wanted to see what the guy who screamed about pronouns in Starfield thought about the Hogwarts Legacy boycott, and I was not disappointed. The hypocrisy is prophetic. We'll get on to prophetic shortly, dude. So let's watch, shall we? I will not be berated, bullied, intimidated into not playing a game because you think it attacks you or goes against your ideology. Boo fucking who? Man up. Fucking pronouns. Boo fucking who? Man up. Fucking gender ambiguity. You think it attacks you or goes against your ideology and you just can't help. Shovel. You're dog shit. You think it attacks.
I'm curious if Az is going to get this. I think this is actually rather clear. He feels like wokeism, or what he's trying to call wokeism, is attacking his ideology because maybe he's delusional enough to think he doesn't follow ideology. We'll see.
You or goes against your ideology. Fucking crap! Ideology into everything! You think it attacks you or goes against your ideology. Goes against your ideology. Goes against your ideology. We can't see past our own fucking reflection.
Agreed.
Yes. And what was I actually talking about? I was actually talking about buying Hogwarts Legacy and not boycotting it because I wouldn't bow down to the intersectional, woke, far-left ideological mob that wanted to cancel it because Harry Potter is made by J.K. Rowling. Somehow, that is a gotcha. I played the game, just like I've sunk 25 hours so far.
I think the point is you have your own ideology. You are the attacker in this case. Yeah, you got attacked back. A lot of people who join you got attacked back. And I don't approve of that harassment to a certain extent. But we can laugh at you like you laugh at others who like what you think is maybe you're just too serious, too angry, too bitter from your time in the war. But at least you've had a voice to speak about it. Many of us hasn't. And many of us don't have your extreme opinions, just like many people on the left don't have the extreme opinions of the SJWs and the wokies, okay? You're becoming the extreme, just the other side of the people you hate. Fight something long enough, you become just like them. And we're seeing this descent in real time.
Far into Starfield, I played Hogwarts Legacy and I enjoyed the gameplay and I enjoyed the story. Didn't prevent me from criticizing the barmaid, which was silly, or other aspects of little bits of wokeness or intersectionality that they put into the game. But I guess, once again, you don't actually need context. You just need gotchas. And one final thing, you mentioned prophetic. Let me just see what your last video up is. The dark side of reaction content. Holy shit. It looks like you're the walking embodiment of prophetic, dude.
What the fuck was that? You just placed the label that he's a reactor, and it's hypocritical that he's doing a video about react content when it's not his primary source of freaking content. Especially not the way people watch videos and criticize Hassan. Are you so brain dead you're not even tuned enough into that sort of discourse? You just say hypocritical. Maybe your audience is just as brain dead as you are and just takes your word as it is. I'm not even understanding that. This is just so stupid. You think people are going to take you seriously if they know anything about the act, man. Maybe your audience will, but frankly, under scrutiny, this looks like a freaking dodge out of freaking the Old West.
But I'll tell you what I did get from that clip. I got from it that I've lost a lot of weight since I did that video, and I'm really happy with the way that my weight loss.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm very glad. As here, feel the clip makes him feel better about himself. You're under such fire. They're trying to cancel you, even though they're just mocking you for the most part. I heard something about someone receiving more freaking harassment and other threats against her. I'm not going to say her name. And I definitely think that's a horde. And if it's happened to Az for even as brain dead of a take as he made here with no backup just to support his ideology, I'm just trying to understand if he doesn't think he follows an ideology that's maybe not as toxic as the one he's talking about right at the moment. But you're definitely flamming the flames. You're fanning the flames. You're fanning the flames to make your side even more rabid and become even more out there with this. And you know what? That's fine. Because you're a fucking dumbass who doesn't know what you're doing. I don't expect retards to take accountability for their own thing or actually.
You don't call retarded people retards. It's bad taste. You call your friends retards when they're acting retarded.
Accept that this sort of pivot and dodge from Starfield to freaking the industry at whole, which seems to have been getting better over the years. Just dodge, man.
Journey's going. So cheers for doing a side-by-side there, because that just kind of spurs me on to keep going and do better. Here's just a little cautionary tale for you. Remember Volition? Volition, the game studio that took over the reboot of Saints Row. Volition, the same...
And what does this have to do with Starfield? Sort of like how people are saying with Harry Potter and Baldur's Gate 3, no one's going as hard against them. Again, you're living in your own echo chamber as, okay. And you know what? I'm not even mad at you. I might have sounded mad, but persona, I'll admit to being a little bit ranty, a little bit out there for performative value. And I admit that to be honest with people, or at least try to be honest to a certain extent through at least these live streams that I do. Yet you're going to have your own little example why a lot of people are like, oh, it's a false equivalency to bring up Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, such a bitch move. Okay.
Company that attacked fans of the old Saints Row games because they said that was outdated and it was no longer acceptable and their game was going to be for a modern audience.
Yeah, it was bullshit. And it suffered for it. Did anyone have to push this idea out there? I think it was pretty apparent with games like Saints Row. And even Forsaken wasn't as bad as Saints Row with all the little bullshit things it did, but it still was pretty bad and probably used a little bit of wokeism to cover up how bad the actual game was.
Deflection, who are now out of business because the game flopped massively. Things like this can happen. Chip away at people like Chinese torture and eventually they'll crack, or they'll have a straw that broke the donkey's back moment and they'll stop.
Yeah. Keep repeating that enough. It's the straw. Oh yeah, Bethesda is so known for all its woke games, and there's just so much. Come on, I brought up at least Forspoken, and that wasn't even too woke. That was just like hiding the horrible story with probably a main lead and using woke the minority lead and some of those horrible writing to sort of push a crappy ass game.
Supporting your games. But this isn't about pronouns. It never has been. It's about everything.
Yeah, deflect. Move the goalpost. Don't defend your original position. Move to a greater one. You're being a fucking insensitive. Not insensitive. I'm trying not to use the word disingenuous, but I can't think of any other thing. You had a really out there take that a lot of people criticize, so you moved to the Mop and Bailey. Or Mop and Bucket. The game was just your sort of a mop and you retreat it back to your bucket like a freaking hermit crab trying to take cover behind a whole group of people who mostly agree that your freaking little schizo rant was too far. At least Synthetic Man sort of is a little bit more self-aware, at least nowadays, about that he has schizo rants. It's good to have that sort of transparency, not be a bitch about it. He'll say, yeah, schizo rant, funny stuff. There's definitely shit going on in the industry that I feel like even more less self-aware than freaking him.
every single solitary person that's saying, well, it doesn't matter, only says it doesn't matter when it's been inserted into their entertainment, when it's been inserted into their TV, film, comics, video games, then they can turn around and go, well, it doesn't matter. But if any of it was removed, taken away, just you watch them spurg, get triggered as much as I did when I just get sick and tired of seeing this rammed into everything. Look how...
Oh, he admitted he spurged and got triggered by it. Good to admit it. Okay. How are you going to follow up with that, man?
Disney are performing right now. Disney Marvel, failing miserably. Disney live action films, failing miserably. Indiana Jones, failing miserably. They are failing.
And what does that have to do with the video game industry, specifically Starfield? Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. You move back, you move the goalposts completely here. And it is freaking something I find incredibly insane.
And failing due to the fact they are ramming in current day, and current day is turning customers off. And they've been doing it for so long now and ramming.
Yeah, just keep on chanting that. Current day, current day, current day. You know, there is plenty of problems, and it's not all coming from the woke ideology at this point. In fact, that's a very minor issue that's usually used to sort of hide the flaws of these games, in my personal opinion. And I'm sure a lot of people would agree. You're deflecting from actual real problems with the gaming industry by hiding behind the shield of, I hate the identity politics of culture. So be a bitch about it if you want, and cope as much as you can here.
It down all of our throats that even regular people are beginning to wake up, which is very different from being woke. Not only that, they're now starting to...
It's very different than being woke. Did he script this, or is he just saying this and he's just realizing in real time how badly this is? And Snow White, yeah, use all these other freaking little bitch ass examples to compare it to the woke gaming industry. You had one example, and even the Forspoken one isn't a great one. Anymore, you got to go with the same company putting out the same garbage. Yeah, Disney's a trash fire that's going down, and you're just harping on those strings to your audience to try to make this rather bad comparison between the two. You're not a critic, you're a social commentator. Stop pretending that you care about actual video games or media. You care about the culture, or maybe you care about not getting your little fifis hurt, Mr. HeelvsBabyface. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna make predictions, but this is some serious levels of cope, delusion. I don't know. Maybe just massive stupidity from drug and alcohol abuse in your past. Hey, you brought it up. I'm not placing that. I'm just leaving that as an option.
To laugh at it and mock it as it should be mocked, as we see an image, of course, from the upcoming...
As you should be mocked for your little schizo rants, okay? Just accept you're going to get schizo rants. Don't try to hide behind the identity politics ruin media. Yeah, there is a factor of that. That is true. Every good lie has a bit of truth holding it together. And this is a extremely horribly constructed cope session that HeelvsBabyface is shitting out here.
Snow Brown and the 7 Seattle Baristas coming next year to flop majorly for Disney. Another fairy tale sacrificed on the altar of intersectionality.
See, I think there's a lot of fairy tale. I think he's constructing this little fairy tale in his head to sort of justify his sort of schizo rant. Just accept you had a schizo rant that was out there, and a lot of people are going to take it out there and not use and be like, okay, yeah, schizo rant, man. That's what I do. Got a little triggered from all this Disney stuff, but don't try to use it as a fucking little shield.
I don't care what you want to call yourself. Call yourself the king of Kathmandu for all I give a shit, and give yourself the pronouns of Tweedledum and Tweedledee. That's your prerogative to do. I just don't need to play your game. And that's where we have the butting of heads. Because
yeah, you don't need to play the game, but as someone in the social media space, we can freaking play your game and mock you for your dumbass takes, your fucking childish man we can mock you for your childish attitude on stream to thousands of people. And you don't want to become a lolcow. I understand. No one wants to become the next Wings of Redemption DSP, but you keep up with this sort of raging attitude. You know what? You do you, man, okay? Don't play a game, okay? You don't even have to talk positively about it, but stop trying to use the freaking culture war to defend your shitty ass takes, because it's just frankly pathetic.
Because you feel that I do need to play your game. You want to compel me to play your game.
Yeah, he's going back to the compulsion thing. No, I don't care. You made a shit take. People are going against you. You're deflecting to the culture war instead of standing by your criticism, which you can't sustain, obviously. You can't make an argument for why that game is woke. Yes, there is going to be woke elements in modern day gaming, but to such a degree that it is offensive to people who aren't woke, that's different. You are just what you come to hate on the other side. And until you come to that realization, you can go down this path you're going, Heels versus Babyface. You can let other people, your friends, try to defend you, and maybe they'll come out better, or maybe they'll just go down with you. Which do you want? Take the culture down also, probably. Have people more focus on wokeism when the problems in the video game industry is much different than Disney, Star Wars, or Marvel at this point. It's just so sad to see.
You want to legalize it so I play your game. And by game, of course, I mean gender ideology. I'm like,
yeah, whoa, legalize it? Is that a shot at drugs maybe? Or, oh, this is just under the skin. Using this terminology for something that just is you're sensitive about. And this almost comes off as cry bullying. I went viciously attacked this game for, okay, maybe viciously attacked is a little bit too far. I had a schizo rant about this video game and I popped off, went through with it and completely shat the bed. So I had to retreat to my little castle with all my friends instead of going woke out in the battlefield where almost no one even on your own side actually gave a crap about you until you changed about the greater industry. And since it's Bethesda and also Xbox, you have a lot of people who won't think about jumping to your defense. And this is cowardly. I'm looking forward to actually seeing someone actually talk to him about this bad take and hold him accountable. I doubt he's going to go on EFAP or even talk to Mueller about it. And frankly, with how EFAP has been acting, I doubt they will press the matter either. But maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. I have my doubts about that. But you know what? I would love to see something like that.
The mob that went after J.K. Rowling, I'm not telling anyone not to buy a video game. If you're curious and you want to play it, buy it. Try it out for yourself. See what you think. Some of you will like it. Probably some of you won't like it. That's the nature of the beast. But I'm more than entitled to express my own opinion on the fact that I am sick and tired of seeing current day shoved into every...
Yeah, and a lot of people playing games just want good games. And maybe Starfield isn't a good game. Maybe it comes down to a subjective matter. Maybe it's more critical issues. It's definitely better than Cyberpunk 2077 at launch. Yeah, still's got bugs out there. Hell, I think it's better than Outer Worlds, but there was a lot of functions about Outer Worlds that freaking annoyed me about that game. But you're absolutely right. Go try it for yourself. Don't listen to your ass mad take. And I'm a madman with a YouTube channel, and I'm calling you a madman. We can be madmans together, but I'm more in the center going against other madmen in my approximation. But you know what? You do you, and I'll do me.
Every facet of our entertainment, television, film, video games, comics, etc., etc. In a few days' time,
war cry, our media's under attack by these wokies. And from a more centrist position, it's an attack by both the wokies and by crazy ideologues on the right. And if you want to be the champion for them that Synthetic Man didn't have the balls for, go ahead, do it. you're probably too dumb to actually sustain a lot of your criticisms face to face. This is why you're backing off this and taking such a Millie Mouse stance and being like, they're trying to cancel you. No, they don't care about you. They want to laugh at you. Hassan is a madman who freaking threatens violence. Really, the rhetoric of these wokies, or as I would like to call them better, leftists, has really gone mad dash with Bosch, Hassan. Hell, you even see if you get into the dirty weeds, freaking little Dane going off threatening this one chatter he couldn't remove from it. You know what? You're popping on off. You're matching their energy. I understand matching their energy, but you're doing it in such a cowardly and bitch ass way. I don't know how this is going to help you. You cry that these bitches on the other side, but you're almost as much of a bitch as them.
This will all blow over. Such is the nature of today's social media, as people's attention will be focused elsewhere, and my 15 minutes of Twitter fame will come to an end. But what won't come to an end is the people that saw the video and said to themselves, yes, that's the way I've been feeling. Yes, I've been seeing this for a while now.
Yeah. Make yourself part of a greater cause. Be a champion. Be a leader, but you're too much of a dumbass to do that in reality. This sort of bitch ass thing that you're doing here is, I'm just looping because he's looping, saying the same points because he ain't really saying much overall. See if he gets to a relevant point.
Thank goodness there are other people out there that are feeling the same way that I.
Yes, tribal mentality. Does it make it right? Does it make it logical? No. Just beat on that drum, man. Okay? Make the best use of your 15 minutes of fame. I'm going to, and other people are going to be here just to mock you and be like, this is some deranged ass shit that's not going to help gaming at all. And I'm the last person to sort of go out there and try to defend the gaming industry. But mad people on both the stream sides are still getting on my nerves. I wasn't even planning to cover this. Got into it because of various reasons, but that's besides the point.
I'm feeling. And because of that, they've found my channel. And because of that, they will find other people's channels as well, that they can go and listen to their points of view.
Yeah, retreat deeper into your own echo chamber. Gotta love it. Got to love it. Just like all the Synthetic Man fans out there who found his channel. Same thing, different tune, okay?
Their opinions, and understand that they're not alone in this, and more voices will be brought to the table to push back from this utter nonsense that we've been seeing. And a huge thank you to all of you for the outpouring of support. Your voices are and will be heard.
Okay, not getting into the brass tacks. They, them pronouns. What's the problem with them? Oh, changing pronouns. There are not asexuals. There are mid-sex people who, why, for the most part, will choose either male or female. But do they have to make that choice? Do they have to make that choice right away? Do you not want to give them a comfortable pronoun, a gender pronoun that they can feel comfortable with using? And as much as you hate the whole trans kids narrative, there are some adults who really have gender dysphoria that really makes them, wacky in the head. Okay. And in some cases, those who would go non-binary and, oh God, gender fluid is just maddening. Another problem with this whole little rampage that Az is on here is the fact that he just doesn't think tactically. You push people to the very extreme when you go after something as simple as they, them pronouns, okay? Like the Red Scare in Hollywood. Or, that was the communist push. This is probably the Red Scare they evoked. Oh, they had the Red Scare. They're just doing it again now. Went into the satanic panic. No, Satanists are fine. They're great people. They're not really worshiping or doing anything evil or being a pedophile. You're giving them cover by going to these extreme lengths. I've said it on Andrew Clark's stream earlier today. Check it out if you want to. I'll link it in the description later, or maybe I'll wait until I edit this down. But I said there, it's a boy who cried wolf at every little thing. Well, it's probably not an accurate statement. The boy who cried wolf. Sorry. I keep repeating that. The boy who cried woke. You cry woke at the littlest things, people are going to become desensitized to it. And you're just going to create a sort of a plausible deniability in the future when this shit starts coming around. People will be like, oh yeah, it wasn't really that woke. That really was just paranoid. Just like with the satanic panic, just like with freaking the Red Scare with those people unjustly labeled as communists. You're just giving future cover to these people. You might have your time to shine. The pendulum does seem to be swinging. How long are you going to get in that sort of a sweet spot? Who knows? A few months, a few years, a few decades. Things always come back around when this swing comes. Why can't the freaking sensible people come together and start having a voice? Because freaking moderate positions aren't as cliquey in our environment. You need to go more and more extreme. Get louder and louder. No matter how small of a group you are, you have to create that sort of tribal mentality, bring people into the fold so you can embrace them into the echo chamber that generally devoid of absolute logic or discussion. And that seems absolutely deplorable to me. I mean, you can think what you want about that. You can think Bethesda had the woke elements in it. And yeah, the they, them was definitely something that is accommodating to that woke crowd. But it's also accommodating to more sensible people who don't want to go with xeno pronouns or gender fluid or even care about turning the kids trans and think that's a bad idea. You're placing people in a box. And I will always freaking argue against people who think they know the truth, use deflection, use greater movements to sort of excuse their own stupid things. And I will always condemn serious harassment against people like that. Mock them. They're in the public spotlight. They can't take the heat. They should get the fuck out of the fire. And you know what? With that said, I'm done. Bye.